All right, let me get my screen pulled up here. And this is my podcast proposal for audio production 2. This is my podcast proposal. This is Derek Phelps. I'm just going to go through and cover the subjects in this. What is the overarching subject of my podcast? The subject of the podcast will cover a wide range of subjects, all being discussed from the perspective of members of Generation X. My podcast is going to be called The Gen Experts. What are some of my potential subtopics? The satanic panic of the 1980s, after school specials, film ratings. Did your parents care? My potential guests are Bridget Phelps, Dr. Derek Clements, Courtney Clements, Amanda Salazar Higgins, and Jonathan Higgins. Will the series be predominantly solo discussion? It'll be a discussion-based board. My mission statement is welcome to the Gen Experts podcast, where we explore the world through the eyes of Generation X, the often overlooked but richly experienced generation. As latchkey kids who grew up navigating a rapidly changing world, we bring a unique perspective to the table. Join us as we dive into a diverse array of topics, from the evolution of technology and pop culture to personal stories and societal shifts. Our aim is to shed light on how our experiences have shaped our worldview and to engage in thoughtful discussions about the issues that matter to us. Tune in for insights and reflections from those who were there when it all began. I believe my audience is really falls into that Gen X age range of 40 to 65, hit some of those older millennials as well, who will probably remember a lot of the subject that we're talking about. Sorry, clear my throat. Male and female genders will both probably be interested in this. It covers a wide array of ethnicities, and the education levels, high school to a PhD, because we're really covering topics from a generational standpoint and not an education standpoint. Adjacent hobbies and interests: pop culture, film, television, current events. And our podcast brand itself, the primary colors, which are all shown here. And this is my logo for the podcast album artwork. I thought it was good to have, representation of that era where we did have record players and DVD players and cassette players. We lived through every bit of that. Now, let's give me a little rundown of my first episode. Like say a voiceover for the intro. Hey guys, this is the Gen X podcast, and I'm your host, Derek Phelps. On today's episode, we are going to discuss what it means to be Gen X. With me today are my fellow Gen Experts, my wife Bridget, Dr. Derek Clements, Courtney Clements, Amanda Salazar Higgins, and Jonathan Higgins. We are the Gen Experts because we lived it, we survived it, and we have the t-shirt that says so. And I have an example of what my opening music will be right here. Having a nice alternative grunge sound, very Gen X to the era, especially 90s. And I'll give a blocked rundown of the episode to be a music bed intro. I'll open, introduce my panel. We'll cover what it means to be Gen X, the textbook definition versus our own personal definition, key experiences in our lifetime, like the Challenger shuttle explosion and the rise of compact discs. What it means to be a latchkey kid, those experiences, our youth and upbringing, because our parents were primarily the boomers. What was it like being brought up? Compare it to how we brought up our own children today. And all my panelists will give a bye, farewell, and we'll have a music bed outro. That is my proposal for this podcast. I think it will do very well. My participants are very excited to get on board, and hopefully we'll have some episodes soon. Thanks.